BYU comes in at 10-4, 1-0 in WCC play. This is their first conference road game of the season. They'll be in blue. And LMU losing at home to St. Mary's on Thursday night. Had an admirable rally at the end, but came up short. They'll be in white. And we jump at center. Eric Mika. And he is going against Stefan Jovanovic, the Hawaii transfer. And the opening possession belongs to Mika and the Cougars. And they turn it over.
And I anticipated a double team on every Eric Mika catch. LMU gets it, and Brandon Brown almost too late, but gets a hand in there for the steal.
BYU has won the last 6 games in this series. LMU's first offensive possession of this basketball game. Boy Toch, the 6'6 senior, had a touch, and now they'll go to Shamar Johnson. And the 6'7 senior misfires, but they follow it up with an offensive rebound, which both these teams do fairly well.
Yeah, sometimes the best offense for both of these clubs is just to get it up on the glass and have their length and athleticism go attack it right there. A miss, but Jovanovic is there for the follow.
Yoli Childs called for the personal. It's his the first team foul. And some of the things that these two teams do well are steals. They're among the conference leaders in steals, offensive rebounds, assists. And for BYU, they just love that quick pace. They're not going to hold the ball too long.
Yeah, this is a battle of contrasting styles. You mentioned everybody knows who follows BYU's basketball program that they're one of the fastest teams year after year. But LMU is excellent defensively. They will pick you up and make you work. And BYU offensively, Steve, they're always top 10 in the country in shortest possession. And you can see right there, one pass, and TJ Haas launches one.
Yep, that was less than the 13.9 that puts them 6th in the country. And LMU fans know a thing or two about quick shots here. If you go back to the Hank Gathers, Bo Kimball days, it was even quicker than that. And a foul will be called against LMU here on the offensive end. And it's Shamar Johnson. That's his first.
And Nick Emery got a knee to his thigh. He is still shaking it off here on the sideline. Doesn't look like it'll be too serious unless he goes to the bench and that thing stiffens up.
Yeah, injuries have plagued BYU. They lost Kyle Davis for the year. There have been other guys that have been smarting. And Childs with a basket and the foul, the guy who benefits from Kyle Davis being out for the season.
A well-designed play to get Childs. Oh, easy bucket. How about the pass, the whip around pass? Too quick for LMU's defense to get there. And Yoli Childs has been a revelation. I mean, he's a freshman, folks. He doesn't look it. If you check out his body, his shoulders, he's only going to get better.
Taking advantage of the opportunities with Corbin Kafusi deciding to play football in the fall semester, and then Kyle Davis injured earlier this season. The knee, he's out for the year. They're probably not even going to apply for a red shirt. Shamar Johnson with a bucket there, and a good hard-earned bucket inside.
And Shamar is so consistent, even though he hadn't played in 2 games. He's going to get you about 8 points and 5 rebounds a night.
And he defends Mika nicely, part of the double team, but Mika's so strong. Gets the ball back.
Nice pass.
Haas spots up, and he's 0 for 2 from the outside.
This BYU team has struggled to shoot the ball from the perimeter. They're actually one of the worst teams in that department in the entire conference, which is something that we never talk about when covering a BYU team. They've really struggled.
Although they're getting a little better from the outside. Nice passing, and it results in a Stefan Jovanovic bucket. And the assist by Brandon Brown.
Watch another double team here.
And a turnover. Well, they're doing a great job defensively on Mika. Now, will they be able to keep it up for the entire 40 minutes?
And how about this pass wrap around? Again, we've seen 2 wraparounds, one for each team right there, threading the needle, and Jovanovic with the soft hands. But you mentioned that the double team creates a turnover for Eric Mika, and he actually leads BYU in turnovers. Big guys, that's actually not unusual, especially big guys who are big-time scorers. Double teams, they're not used to handling the basketball and passing out.
Johnson. They've gotten much bigger in the post. Johnson going to work on Childs. And a whistle and a foul after the missed shot.
And they are going exclusively right now to Shamar Johnson. I believe it's a tactic to try not only to get Shamar involved offensively, but maybe to pick up some fouls on either Eric Mika or Yoli Childs, as BYU is not that deep. Although Corbin Kafusi's back today.
Yep, and Childs against Jovanovic off the window. That's a good point about Shamar Johnson. His last game came December the 22nd against UT Arlington. You talked about the concussion. And he's back in the starting lineup. And I like LMU with Jovanovic in the post and Johnson. I mean, they're playing well here to start.
Yeah. Jovanovic second on the team in scoring and has a very nice right-hand jump hook that we just saw.
Emery with a left hand from 3.
Emery is coming off a season-low 7 shot attempts, which for him, I mean, this guy is a prolific scorer and shooter, and usually anytime he sees some daylight, it's going up. He's been a little bit more reserved lately.
Brandon Brown, another bounce pass to the Hawaii transfer, and he runs the baseline and scores it.
Right now, LMU is daring BYU's bigs to foul them to try and stop them, and they can't right now.
Ooh. And what a block by Boytach on Eric Mika.
Oh, he could have blocked that with his elbow too, how high he was.
And an offensive foul is going to be called on Brandon Brown. No, they're going to call it on Stefan Jovanovic.
Oh, this block was so nice. We got to see it, Tice. Boytach climbing the ladder and denying Eric Mika. LMU up 2. Why is it not clearing? Hold on a sec. Clear it.
Brought to you in part by Geico, saving you money on car insurance. And by the W.TV, all the action, anytime, anywhere. West Coast Conference basketball brought to you in part by Geico, saving you money on car insurance. And by the W.TV, all the action, anytime, anywhere.
Welcome back to Southern California. Our game of the week here in the West Coast Conference. And Stefan Jovanovic has 8 of LMU's first 10 points. However, Casey, he just picked up his second foul.
As Mitch Kupchak and George Carl are looking on. Look, that's deja vu for LMU because Jovanovic against St. Mary's picks up 2 fouls in the first half. He only had 2 points in that first half. Now he's got 8, but still had to sit and watch the rest of that first half. He's got to figure out how to stay on the floor, even if that means conceding a couple of baskets.
Yep, Matthias Markinson out of Sweden, a 7'1" freshman, is in on the floor and gets beat in the post there as Eric Mika picks up the bucket.
And don't think that Eric Mika didn't see Jovanovic go to the bench and then insert a freshman. And Eric's like, oh, you want to guard me with a freshman? This is what's going to happen.
Even at 10, less than 5 minutes in, a feverish scoring pace, but we'll see if LMU can keep it up with Jovanovic out. Stephen Haney's in the ballgame now, the Central Florida transfer. Good passing in to Markinson, and he gets fouled.
And we've seen some double teams here. There is no double team. They feel like 7-1 is enough to just contest, but it's not, because Eric Mika is one of the best operators in the low block in this conference. You better bring a double.
Markinson averaging almost 3 points, 2 boards a game, played the last 2 seasons in Sweden and part of the Swedish national team. They've got 2 Swedes on Mike Dunlap's roster here this year.
Eric Johansson, number 20, who's yet to enter the game, is also from Sweden.
Guy I want to see play, though, is Trevor Manuel, the 6'9" sophomore, the Oregon transfer. A guy they actually backloaded the schedule because they knew he would be ready to play on the 17th after he transferred after one semester.
That's smart. The University of Utah did the same thing. They had 2 transfers, Cedric Bearfield and David Collette, and they backloaded their schedule as well because of that same reason.
That got disrupted again as Mika tried to put it up. And from the outside, Touch with a 3.
And Touch, a much improved outside shooter this year, Steve. Last year, he was a guy that struggled big time from there.
Junior college transfer. He gets the rebound. He averages 11 points and 4.5 boards a game. Touch will drive this time and put it off the glass.
He is so athletic. There was a defensive miscommunication there by Eric Mika and Yoli Childs. Neither one of them wanted to pick up the guard, but there were already other mismatches on the floor. And because of it, Boytosh takes advantage of the bigs.
6-0 run for Loyola Marymount. They've got a 6-point advantage.
Right here, there's nobody guarding it. Eric Mika comes out a little bit too late, giving, or actually opening the gate to allow Boytosh this wide open lane here. How about the nice creative finish with the left?
We've done a lot of games here. We did a lot last year. They were very competitive, so you could see that LMU was going to get better, especially in year 3 under Mike Dunlap. I don't remember Boytosh having that part of his game yesterday. I know coming out of junior college it might take a year.
He's one of the most improved players in the conference, Steve. Last year, only 3.7 points per game. This year at 11. Last year, rebounding 1.5 rebounds. This year, 4.5. So he's almost tripled his production on the floor and playing with so much confidence. But this is what he does better than offense. He picks up defensively. He's a guy that would give me nightmares.
Yeah. LMU's only missed 2 shots. They're 6 of 8 to begin the proceedings. Here's Emery in the corner. He's open with Markison closing, and he buries a 3.
And he's being aggressive, hunting that 3-point line. He's 2 for 3. And he's a guy that can explode. He had over 30 points against Utah Valley at Marriott Center last month.
And a tie-up. And the possession arrow stays with LMU. And here comes Trevor Manuel, folks, the University of Oregon transfer.
Oh, and he had quite a game, a coming out party, if you will. 18 points, but more impressive than the 18 points, in 22 minutes. But then here's the thing, I have to be critical because that's kind of my nature. He fouled out of that game. You can't foul out of a game when you only play 22 minutes and you're that hot from the field.
Tosh again a little too hard with the left hand. And those 18 points, the career best, came against number 19 St. Mary's.
They had no answer for Manuel.
Toss to Mika. And he blew the dunk. It came out, but you're thinking maybe interference? And they're going to get the foul on Manuel. He's right back to where he was on Thursday, committing fouls.
And there was contact here, but I didn't see a hard foul here. Sometimes when a guy goes to dunk, it looks a lot worse than it is. Oh, they get Manuel on that. That was all ball. The referee is anticipating a call right there when there was none. Neither team gained an advantage. I like to see those plays go uncalled.
I thought Markinson had more of a shot at the foul there than Manuel. But it'll be the first on the Oregon transfer. Braden Shaw here is at the free throw line, a 6'9" sophomore from Eagle, Idaho. So far, Eric Mika 1 of 5, Casey.
Yeah, that's not going to stay for very long as Trevor Manuel shows off his athleticism. That was not a drawn-up alley-oop. That was an air ball from Brandon Brown, but nice anticipation. And normally Manuel's going to dunk that.
Yeah, Brown's a great assist guy, but we're not going to give him one on that. Here's Hawes going to the hole over Tosh. Nothing he could do there to stop that from going off the window.
Oh, that was actually excellent defense there by Boytosh, taking it on the chest, but just better offense as we get a foul here on BYU, being over aggressive, trying to stop Brandon Brown from turning the corner.
Yep, that was Nick Emery.
Does this remind you of another Hawes? This is what his older brother Tyler would do all day and all night. That medium range float game. You know, Tyler was the king of medium range jump shooting. TJ right now, you see on the floor, number 30, he is a much better three-point shooter, doesn't have quite the mid-range game that Tyler did.
And Tyler left as BYU's all-time leading scorer.
Yeah, that's not bad.
No. Especially surpassing the wonderful Jimmer Fredette.
Yeah.
Markison, great spin move there on Jamal Ates.
It is very clear that LMU is making a conscious effort to get the ball on the block. Their post guys aren't known as one-on-one guys, but they are taking the challenge today. They're trying to get some points in the paint, and it's working.
4-point advantage for the Lions. Ates, and Manuel underneath knocked it out of bounds as Ates went up.
And here's Markison in the post. Watch the footwork here. And he might have gotten away with the walk there. That trailing leg lifted up. But when you go quick enough, maybe the referees don't see it.
LJ Rose, quick inbound,
nice
and an
pass.
extra pass to Ates. He can't finish. Shaw had a chance at the offensive board. Here comes Brown, lobbing it out for Tosh, who almost threw it down. Manuel head fake. Well, they are so much faster and more athletic than they were a year ago.
And aren't they playing with supreme confidence
Yep.
right now? The ball is hopping from place to place, and each guy is looking to be aggressive. And just as I say that, the ball is thrown out of bounds.
Yep, Kelvin Amayo, the redshirt senior, the Iona grad transfer, got a little too fast there. Well, LMU, given BYU has got a record of 10-4 coming in, all they can handle in our game of the week here from LA. LMU's only missed 5 shots. Remember, Stefan Jovanovic is on the bench with 2 personals after scoring 8 early points. So Boy Toch has his back here.
Yeah, the 6'6" sophomore is showing his complete array of skills on both ends of the floor right here. The 3-ball, he's shooting 38% on the season. How about the defense here? The block against Eric Mika. And then this is what he does best on the offensive end. He's a slasher, a driver, and a superior athlete, the best athlete on this Lion roster.
So the Cougars have the basketball, trailing by 4 here, just inside of 12 minutes to go in the first half. Our WCC game of the week. They're trying to get to 2-0. They're 10-4. They've got a quality win this year over Colorado, and some bad losses like at Valpo and Utah Valley, and a bad 2-game stretch prior to Christmas.
Well, Valpo's a good team. I mean, they have Alec Peters, who's averaging 20 points and 11 rebounds, and that game was a neutral floor win in Las Vegas. But Utah Valley, I mean, if BYU claims to be the kings of Utah, they can't have Utah Valley come in and beat them on their home floor and put over 110 points on them, too.
Yeah, they righted the ship the next game against Utah State. And Shamar Johnson aggressive again, and Braden Shaw underneath had to foul him. They were here, was BYU, earlier this month at the Staples Center to take on USC, who beat them pretty handily, and then they played Illinois at the United Center. So they've actually played on 3 NBA floors here, up where the Jazz play, The Clippers-Lakers home and the Bulls home. Now in a little intimate environment for one of the first times this year.
Great shooters, Jim. Gersten Pavilion. I would have loved to have played here. I never got the chance during my 3-year Stanford career.
You know, I finally got a chance to see in person was Jeff Fryer at the WCC Media Day.
Oh, man, I would have given Jeff Fryer a huge hug. I don't even know the guy.
I love always talking about him. I should have introduced myself, but, you know, the sandwiches came out. Inside to Mika, and he got fouled by Marcuson. And Yoli Childs comes back in. Raven Shaw leaves the floor. And we get a little more offense here with BYU.
Yeah, I think Dave Rose wants to keep Mika and Childs on the floor as much as possible, but he's worried that if he plays too much, they'll either get in foul trouble or get tired.
Mika too hard after the inbound came into it. He's really struggled to find his rhythm early. 1 of 6 now from the floor. In 7 minutes, he does have 4 rebounds. Notice 2-2 now in to spell Brandon Brown at the point for LMU. Stephen Bale almost had the steal. Johnson. And Haney with a 3. And Child saves it from going out of bounds. He couldn't. He actually stepped on the baseline.
Oh, a bad mistake there by Yoli Childs. He was trying to, you know, he had the rebound. He was trying to put a little hot sauce on that board by slapping it with his left hand, and it popped out. You see what LMU can do with this extra possession on the inbound. Look at Nick Emery trying to guard Marcuson out there.
Yeah, that's what, 6'2" against 7'1". He's got him by 13 inches. Johnson and Emery batted it away. Johnson got it back. Still plenty of time to shoot.
And you can see BYU is switching everything. Right now, Nick Emery is on Shamar Johnson. Now they're going to switch out and return to their normal matchups.
And Manuel took an extra step. BYU down 4. Rose gets it back from Mika. Drives off the window. They're missing the easy shots too. Got a lot of close range shots that just won't go down.
And that's LJ Rose. He's their best creator, a guy that really doesn't care too much about scoring, but he's got to make those layups when he has them. He's only shooting 33% on the year. They'd like to see those numbers go up. But LJ Rose plays an important role for BYU because the way their offense is structured and all the scores that they have, they need a pass-first point guard that can create for others. And for the most part, he's done a nice job of that this season.
Yoli Childs here at the free throw line. Makes the first. W.TV, your home for West Coast Conference action, featuring more than 65 live WCC men's basketball games. Visit the W.TV from your browser, smartphone, tablet, or connected TV to watch live out-of-market games for free. W.TV, all the action anytime, anywhere. It's a 3-point game. Loyola Marymount is shooting 57% from the floor. They are 7-5 coming in. Their big win was at Colorado State just before Christmas break. Lost by 3 in this building to UConn. And from the outside, Munis Tutu, the sophomore from Windsor, Canada, buries the 3.
And that's a big shot for LMU. He's only 6 for 25 on the season, so he is not known to make shots from the perimeter. That's when you know it's LMU's game thus far.
Mika had another miss. Child sends it out to Avery, and they'll trade the potential to it for a 3.
Yeah, that's their game. And what do I always say as a shooter myself? The best time to shoot a 3-point shot is off of an offensive rebound. The defense is scrambling around, and as a shooter, you can just step right in to a nice, easy one.
Mika's got the rebound. That's already his 5th. Mika averages 9 boards a game, almost 2 blocks and 2 assists a game. Puts it on the floor, and an offensive foul will be called. Is he just trying too much?
And right here, Shamar Johnson, how about the extra pass to Munis Tutu, who's struggled all year shooting the ball, but sees one go down there. But the answer, Nick Emery off the offensive rebound. But he shoots it on the regular from 24, 25 feet. Sometimes I feel like he does it unnecessarily. Right there, you could have stepped into a 20-footer.
Dave Rose just took Eric Mika off the floor, and now in front of the water cooler to the left of the BYU bench, they're having a discussion right now because Mika is 1 of 7 to begin things with 5 rebounds and 3 turnovers.
Those discussions right after you leave the game usually don't go very well. You're still hot from a bad call or a bad mistake that you made. Oftentimes I preferred that a coach wait at least a minute before coming over to speak to me.
Tutu's done a nice job spelling Brandon Brown here at the point. 3-point advantage, 5 to shoot. Tutu into traffic's got to get rid of it. Manuel elevates for 3 and hits it just ahead of the shot clock expiring.
And how about the screen there for Peter Herman to free up his teammate? That's a terrible shot by Nick Emery. That was terrible.
Amayo clears the rebound and passes it to Manuel, and he got fouled. He was up over the back of Stephen Bayo to try and get that thing, and Bayo clipped him.
Trevor Manuel was 4 for 4 against St. Mary's, so he now has a streak going of 5 in a row from 3. And then Amayo up top trying to show off the athleticism of Manuel and just gets undercut.
Stephen Bayo, the freshman from Richland, Washington, who in his last 3 games has rewritten his career high as far as scoring is concerned. Picked up the foul, his first. Haney open on the wing and buries another 3 with Corbin Kafusi fresh off a Poinsettia Bowl appearance closing.
Well, Steve, everybody for LMU is getting in on the action. Stephen Haney, it's the best thing that he does. 2/3 of his shots are from 3, and he can change this game.
Offensive foul on Yoli Childs. Well, LMU has already made 4 3-pointers in 5 attempts, and it has been 4 separate guys getting hot from the outside. And with 7:43 to go in the first, the Lions are up 9. Back in Los Angeles, LMU on their home floor with a 9-point lead and just knocking down threes free and easy.
Steve, you know how excited I get for 3-point shooting. LMU has come out guns blazing right here. They're 4 for 5 from behind the arc, and the better part is that 4 different players have got in on the action, including the last one, Stephen Haney, who can get hot in a hurry.
In the first 2 years here under Mike Dunlap, they probably didn't have a deep enough bench to hang on to a lead like this. But here, I mean, he's already used 10 guys here, and his bench has outscored BYU 11-1, and they might be deep enough to continue to defend the way they are against BYU and win this thing.
It's a good point, and offensively they're doing this without their leading scorer, Brandon Brown. He's 0 for 1. He does have 3 assists.
And it continues. Markinson with Haney rather, with a deep 2. Up over 60% from the floor.
Haney's one of those players, when his first shot goes in, he's a different kind of player. Some guys, it doesn't matter. They can miss 4 in a row and still launch it. But Haney gets his first 3 to go down, and now he's a more confident basketball player.
Pause, head fake, drives in, kicks to Emery on the baseline, and missed off the back of the rim. Mayo has the rebound. An 11-point advantage. They're looking for more, and a foul on Nick Emery. That's going to be the second on Emery. So that's quite an improvement, a 6-game improvement, and I'll bet the farm they improve on that 14.
Really, you're going to guarantee me?
Guarantee. I saw them play against Connecticut. I'll buy you a dinner if it's not up over 7. But now they got to win 21 games.
I mean, no, I'm not rooting against you now. I like LMU. I like what Mike Dunlap is building. But WCC conference play is very difficult. It's hard to win on the road in this conference, especially.
But with this kind of roster, I think they could go 8-8. I could win that. Then you'll have to take me to Mindy's for cheesecake.
Never heard of it. But I like some cheesecake, though. I'm in.
For soup, rather. I'm sorry.
Oh, I like soup. Yeah.
It's a Seinfeld reference. Here's Hawes. He might be a little too young for Seinfeld. 10-0 LMU run. 13-point advantage. Rose over to Mika, or Shaw rather. And Rose is open and knocks down a deep 2 that they barely needed.
Yeah, it's a nice extra pass there from Shaw. And LJ Rose was unguarded. He got lost in the shuffle. Sometimes the best plays are those broken plays where no one knows where one guy just pops out to the perimeter and he's unguarded. And boy, did BYU need that basket to stop the bleeding.
And it comes from an unlikely guy because really Rose, since he transferred here from Houston, has not shot the ball particularly well. He does other things well. And Haney misfires.
I thought it was a 3, but this is ruled a long 2-point basket. You want to scoot back a little bit, make sure you get all 3 of those next time.
Yep. Toe on the line. And a foul. That's on Peter Herman. Mika draws the contact. Something he'll get almost 10 of those a game. Fouls called.
Yeah, he's number 2 in the entire country in fouls drawn per 40 minutes. And it's easy to see why. He's a physical player. He's athletic, but he doesn't mind contact at all. But he's also very mobile. And there's the list of the top 5 guys. Eric Mika second to Nick Ward from Michigan State.
Maybe that's the conversation Dave Rose had, was just keep getting aggressive, let them foul you, get to the line.
It's dangerous, though. He already picked up 1 offensive foul on LMU, who defensively is on point this afternoon.
33-22. BYU is one of these teams that is second behind Gonzaga in points scored per night. And, you know, they're going to score about 84, 85 a night.
But more impressive to me, Steve, is how consistent this BYU program has been on the offensive end. They have been in the top 15 of scoring each of the last 7 years nationally. No other program in the country can say that. That's really, really impressive when I read that this morning.
Mika is 1 of 8 from the floor. And the floater by Brandon Brown got the shooter's touch.
Shooter's touch, the home roll. LMU is so confident right now. When they make baskets, now they can set up their half-court defense. And BYU, like most teams, is not nearly as efficient.
Rose into Mika and got blocked by a mile, and then a foul is called. That's already the 4th block shot of the game for LMU.
They're communicating, they're flying all over the place, and that block by Kelvin Amayo from the backside. Eric Mika had no idea that he was even there. Again, they call a foul on Eric Mika on a kind of a loose ball there, and there was no advantage they could have let that play go, and instead Eric Mika's going to go on the sideline and take a seat for the remainder of the half. I see that play called all the time. I hate to harp on officials a lot, but unless you hack a guy and they lose the ball, I feel like you should let those 50-50 balls go.
So Mika out along with Jovanovic, the big stud for LMU. And another foul is called. They got Boytoch. That's his second. Team fouls are even at 9 apiece.
So Eric Mika back at the water cooler. I doubt head coach Dave Rose is going to go over and lecture him this time. I think he already knows what's up. He's going to watch the last 4.5 minutes from the sideline. Let's see if BYU's depth or lack of depth at the big position can hold up against a hot shooting LMU Lion team.
Shaw makes the first.
This is basically a new group for Dave Rose. He's said that this is the least experienced team he's had in his 12 years. They only returned 3 players that saw time last year. Nick Emery, Kyle Davis, who's now hurt, and Corbin Kafusi, who has missed all the season up until now because of football obligations.
He did have a great football season, though. 2.5 sacks, played in every game, got to play in the Poinsettia Bowl down in San Diego. And the Cougars force a turnover with their defense. Now they're replacing their leading scorer, Chase Fisher, who last check was in Italy, and then Mr. Triple-double, Kyle Collinsworth, who last time I checked was in the NBA D-League.
Yeah, I think he's in Austin, in the D-League. BYU's turned out a lot of really good players. So Jimmer in China, have you checked on Jimmer's numbers in China? By the way, I checked on him yesterday. Do you want to know he's leading the Chinese Basketball Association in scoring? You want to guess what he's putting up a night?
33.
39.5 points per game, folks. Check him out. The Jimmer Show still alive and well.
Peyton Dastrup is now into the ball game, and good defense on Shamar Johnson there to keep him from getting an easy field goal. And Dastrup, who originally committed to Ohio State, misfires on perhaps a 3 he shouldn't have taken.
Dastrup was a top 100 recruit for BYU. Couldn't tell on that 3, though. Wide right.
Yeah, not a fit for Ohio State after he went there and saw the campus and went on a mission and came back here to BYU. And we've got a break in the action. 4 minutes to go here in the first half. It's been all LMU. They're enjoying a lead of 12. Well, you might recall when Stefan Jovanovic went out, it was a 2-point game. He had scored 8 of 10 for LMU, and he's been on the bench ever since, and the Lions have stretched out the lead to 12. It's a fun game, isn't it?
Are you saying that they're better without Stefan Jovanovic?
I'm not saying that. Mayo, and a great pass from Shamar Johnson.
Yeah, Mayo, and a steal here by LMU. My goodness.
Bayo knocked it out of bounds and staying with LMU.
Amayo, number 2 for LMU, a 6th-year senior. He started his career in Marshall, transferred to Iona. Now he's here at LMU. He was originally born in Canada, along with Munis Tutu, who's also Canadian on this LMU roster. They got so many international guys.
He's talented against UConn. When UConn came in on a stopover to Hawaii, he had 18 points, 6 boards, 3 assists, and 3 steals in a game.
I mean, look at how he's built. He's built like a defensive end or a tight end.
Brown, and he got it blocked. And that is Dastrup.
Well, that's when it just stinks to be 5'11". Right here, Brandon Brown, the smallest guy. You just can't get that ball over the tree branches there.
And Dastrup making it hard for Brown to inbound it here, and he does get it into Manuel. And a chance to reset for the Lions.
Again, BYU in the man-to-man, but they are switching everything, Steve.
Mayo too hard, but Manuel cleans it up.
BYU is just getting out-toughed right now. Another offensive foul turnover. Amayo draws the push-off. And here, the switching defense is just not working for BYU. Is right here. Manuel gets the offensive rebound, and then watch Amayo. Oh, we didn't get the right camera angle, but he draws the offensive foul to get LMU another possession. Look, from where we are sitting, LMU just wants this game more. There's more effort on both ends of the floor. Now, it helps that they've made threes. I'll say that. But BYU has got to draw a line in the sand and get some stops here.
Brown for 3. And another foul will be called. Dastrup hammered Shamar Johnson from behind. Wow, that's the first on Dastrup. And 2 shots are coming here.
Meanwhile, the 2 leading scorers for head coach Dave Rose are still on the bench. Eric Mika and Nick Emery are watching. Under 3 minutes to go, and LMU continues to pour on the points as Nick Emery goes to the scorers table to check in.
And while you watch West Coast Conference action, join the conversation all season long using the hashtag WCC Hoops. And for the latest news, scores, and more, follow WCC Hoops on Twitter. Emery has been the entire offense for BYU. 9 of their 23.
All of those from 3. So the rest of the team yet to make a 3-point shot outside of Nick Emery.
And an offensive board. You're right about wanting it more. I'm not sure what kind of combination Dave Rose can put out there now to get his team to respond.
I think they're just praying for the break, the halftime break, so they can regroup.
Here's Amayo going to the hole. Amayo with a great
Looking a little bit like MJ with the fake on the strong side, reverse on the weak.
That didn't look like a kid with a hurt knee, and Hawes a badly needed 3 for BYU.
Well, they got numbers here. Nick Emery took himself out of the play as Brandon Brown's going to bring it back out, though. It's not going to hurt him.
Trevor Manuel will come in when play is dead for the Lions, who lead it by 15. And Johnson to the hole and scores it.
Well, they're just beating BYU on straight line drives, whether those start at the 3-point line, at the mid post. Well, it's incredible.
Pass inside to Childs, and he got fouled by Amayo.
Kelvin Amayo putting that head down. How about that finish right there? It didn't look like he was even looking at the rim. Watch it. To me, he doesn't even see it. No look. Put a little English on it.
He needed the help of the NCAA to get in here to LMU. They granted him a 6th year after the hurt knee at Iona, which required surgery. Childs makes a free throw. Dastrup will come out. Jamal Aites comes in for BYU. Marcusson and Manuel back out on the floor for LMU. 1:40 to go. 16-point lead.
And when contrasting styles to start this game. I always feel like it's a lot easier to slow a game down than it is to speed it up. And right now, BYU is trying desperately to get the tempo of this game up.
Manuel misfires on the three. And it's going to be out of bounds, BYU basketball. Cougars shooting 32% from the floor. And we had an inadvertent whistle, or a buzzer rather. And we'll get a chance to reset here.
Unfortunately for BYU, it allows LMU now to pressure up defensively and overplay.
That's a good point. BYU now has Davin Gwynn in the Riverside transfer. Trying any combination here. Cut into this 16-point deficit with 1:17 to go. And LMU out for blood. They extend the pressure, and Haney fouls Gwynn.
Really interesting matchup right here. Number 13 in white, Trevor Manuel, who's 6'9", is guarding Nick Emery at 6'2". You see the two get tangled up. And that's a smart play by Nick Emery. Look, he might have flopped a little bit, but I can't lie to you and say that I didn't do that 100 times during my college career. If a guy is going to get handsy with you, then you make sure the officials know that his arms are extended. And that's exactly what Nick Emery did to draw that foul.
Both teams in the double bonus, so Emery to the free throw line. He's got 9 of the 27, and he's there at the free throw line for the first time here this afternoon. They're 6 of 11 at the line are the Cougars.
And he has a streak right now, Nick Emery, of 24 straight games where he has made at least 1 3. That's continuing today.
Well, early on, BYU doesn't look like the team picked to finish 3rd here in the West Coast Conference. Or a team that last year had 13 WCC wins. They missed the NCAA tournament. 26 wins overall, so half of them in conference. And last made the NCAA field in 2015. That likely will change this year.
They had that play-in game in 2015, and I believe they had a 15 or 20-point lead at halftime. Let it slip away. That team was really talented with Collinsworth and Tyler Hawes.
Yeah, I thought they would have been a good addition to the NCAA tournament last year. I mean, heck, they've won at Gonzaga the last 2 years. That should get you in. And there's a foul. Gwynn. I've seen enough fouls in this half to last me a lifetime, partner.
Look, some games are like that. I mean, and this is what I always say, okay? And I've been critical of the officials today, and I try not to. However, I always say in games like this, where it seems to be like a march to the foul line, it's on the players now to adjust. Officials can have bad games just like players can, okay? But what you want is consistency, and they've been consistent. They are blowing the whistle early and often in contact. So players now, you got to figure it out.
Got 23 combined fouls. Yates setting a hard screen for Hawes, and Shaw got the rebound, and another foul call.
TJ Hawes is really frustrated that that foul wasn't called. And he was kind of letting out his emotions there. But BYU is going to have a chance right here to get 2.
2 on Markison now after he picked up the infraction. And Brown skies in for the board, and another foul.
Mistake, Steve. I mean, he knew that was going to miss because he was the shooter. He knew it was off left, and so he tries to chase after the ball. You got to have some mental discipline. Watch, it goes off to the left. He already knows. He's already started his sprint. But that is, I mean, in this game right now where BYU is desperately trying to close the gap, the last thing that you want to do is put LMU's Brandon Brown on the foul line.
That is the 4th LMU player in Shaw, make it BYU player rather, to have 2 fouls in this first half. .15 free throws for LMU here in this first half. 37.1 to go. Mika is on the floor. Or on the bench, rather. 1 of 9 with 5 rebounds. And the 2 personals. Hawes. Tough shot.
Really tough shot. Nice defense by Munis Tutu there, but even better offense. I love the patience of TJ Haas. He's slight of build. He's not very big, but he takes contact well, and what he did a nice job there is keeping his head on the rim and creating space with his shoulder.
He's got 7, and Brown got fouled on the floor. Byu got him. Well, penetration has been an issue, and Brown drives to the bucket. Going right by BYU guys, and they have well, nothing they can do but grab.
And after a slow start from the field shooting the basketball, I mean, he only shot 1 attempt in the first 10 or 12 minutes of this game. Brandon Brown getting in a rhythm on the free throw line, and that's the other negative about these type of fouls, is it allows these guys to go to the free throw line and shoot uncontested jumpers and get even more in a rhythm.
15-point lead for LMU. 8's the high screen. The pass inside the rim, and scores it just ahead of the game clock expiring. Give Hawes the great assist.
That's an internal clock in his head as he was dribbling, navigating defenders. This is a very difficult play here. With 1.5 seconds left, he gets that ball off, and that's absolutely going to count.